In 1913, Hudson Stuck, who was the Archdeacon of the Yukon, organized the first successful expedition to climb Mount McKinley, or Denali. This was long before the days of good mountaineering gear. No bottled oxygen, no Gore-Tex. In fact, they couldn't even find good footwear. They had to wear 8 pairs of socks to keep their toes from freezing. As the team neared the summit, they unanimously agreed that it was only appropriate that the first documented person to ever step foot there should be an Alaska native. Hudson Stuck's associate, Walter Harper, met the team's desired request, and so as they neared the summit, they slowed, allowing him to take the lead of the team. And he was indeed the first documented person to ever step foot there. A number of years later, Walter Harper developed typhoid fever. While he was in the hospital in Fairbanks, Alaska, recovering, he fell in love with a young nurse attending him, Frances. He offered her a proposal of marriage and she accepted, and for their honeymoon they determined to go south, as many people did in that era. Well, that particular year, Skagway was choked with stampeders wishing to go south for the winter, but finally a ship came into port called the Princess Sophia. Typically, the Princess Sophia was outfitted to carry about 250 passengers, but this particular year they overloaded the ship with 354. She left Skagway, but halfway between Skagway and Juneau here where we live, in the middle of Lynn Canal, the Princess Sophia ran aground on a charted rock called Vanderbilt Reef. The skipper radioed for help and other ships came to his aid, and once they were there and he felt secure, he took a closer inspection of the ship and he noted it was not damaged or leaking. And so he declined the offer to offload the passengers, with hopes of floating the ship off the reef that night with the incoming tide. But as fate would have it, a ferocious storm came roaring out of the Yukon that night with winds of over 100 miles an hour. The other ships around the Princess Sophia had to flee for their own safety, and over the course of 3 days, the Princess Sophia broke apart on Vanderbilt Reef. All 354 people perished. Walter and Frances Harper were on board the Princess Sophia the night that it went down, on their honeymoon. And we'd like to sing a tune that we've written about the wreck of the Princess Sophia.
I will love you forever, my darling. My lover, Mrs. Harper, my wife. And the north wind is starting to blow in. Hold tightly, my darling, hold tight. Sailed for Vancouver, BC, with an October wind blowing behind us, and more than 300 on board. But the Princess Sophia ran hard aground, hold fast on a reef in the night. If the captain seems sure he'll be able to float her off free with the tide. Starting to blow in. The seas they are building tonight. Princess Sophia's a foundering. I'm afraid not a soul will survive. There's a howl on the shores near Tea Harbor from the dog who just barely survived, and he cries for the Princess Sophia. Goodbye, my Sophia, goodbye. Mr. Harper, my life, and the north wind is starting to blow in. Hold tightly, my darling.